convenience, they'll now have more copies of new releases.
Let's go to the field now for the coin toss.
Referees are introducing the captains right now, Roger.
I'd like for you to meet Captain Dandridge, Captain Blue, Captain Owens, and Captain Hampton. You gentlemen shake hands. Okay, captains, if we have a penalty, I'll go over your options with you, explain them to you. If you don't understand them, tell me then, and we'll go over them again, okay? Okay, you're going to be the spokesman for the Fort Payne, right? Captain, call this coin while it's in there, and if I drop it, we'll flip it again. Here we go. What do you call? So heads. It is heads. You won the toss. You can receive, kickoff, defend the goal, or defer. You want to defer.
Okay, Rogers, you heard Fort Payne won the coin toss. They will defer to the second half. So Guntersville with their choice. And you may have seen me out here standing up beside Josh Ballou. They've got him listed at 6'4" and about 320 pounds. I look kind of small standing up beside of him, so I think I enjoyed that.
Well, that's right, Larry. So we're just a few moments away from kickoff. The Fort Payne Wildcats and the Guntersville Wildcats set to tip it off here in just a few moments, and we'll take another break and come back for Wildcat Sports action here on the Wildcat Sports Network. The Wildcat Band with the national anthem here at Chorba-Lee Stadium in Guntersville. Just to familiarize you a little bit with the offense for Guntersville, we'll go over the starting lineup. First to split in will be number 3, D. Bush, a 5'10", 170-pound junior. At the one tackle will be 6', 230-pound senior, Chris Baggett. At guard, 6'4", 300 pounds. That's Josh Blue we've been talking about, the University of Georgia signee. At center, Bryant, 5'11", 170-pound junior. At the other guard, 5'9", 205 junior, Scott Moore. At the other tackle, a 6'1", 215-pound senior, Taylor Owens. At tight end will be Greg Altum. He's a 5'10 junior, weighs 175. Under the controls for Guntersville at quarterback, a 5'10", 150-pound senior, Rob Dandridge. At fullback, a 5'11", 160-pound senior, Quincy Hampton. And at tailback will be Brian Vaughn, 5'11", 195. And at wingback, a senior, 170 pounds, and 6-foot-tall Philip Havis. So we're waiting here for the kickoff. The Fort Payne already on the field, and they will be kicking. Guntersville finally coming out onto the field, and they're sending back deep. See if we can catch the number. Going back deep will be number 9. That's number 9, Aaron Baxter, along with number 7, Josh Wiggs. So ready to kick off. Kenny Chadwick will kick off from the 40 for Fort Payne. And there's the whistle ready to get the game underway in Guntersville at Chorba-Lee Stadium. Chadwick's kick's on the way. It'll be fielded around the 2-yard line by 7. That's Wiggs. To 10, to 15. He's across the 20, cuts inside, tripped up, falls forward to about the 29-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 for Guntersville at that point. So a good return, a return of about 26 yards for Guntersville. So
Roger, good job there by the kicking team, kickoff defensive team for Fort Payne. Talking to the coaches a little while ago, they made quite a few changes and really worked on that kicking game during practice this week, and you saw it pay off there as Guntersville ran it back to the 29. Now here comes that offense.
Certainly one of the aspects of the game we had to improve on from last week, Larry. Under center is the quarterback. That's Dandridge. In motion is number 9. That's Jonathan Johnson. Make that Rob Johnson. Quarterback moves to the right, looking, wants to throw downfield. He's been pressured. Overthrows number 9. And we don't have number 9 listed on here. Let's see who number 9 is. I thought it was Johnson.
Justin Hill with an awful lot of pressure there, as Justin Hill really put the pressure and forced B.J. King to throw the ball early for the Guntersville team. But number 9 is Adam Baxter, a 5'9", 160-pound senior.
So that was Baxter listed at number 9. So he overthrew his guy, so it'll bring up a 2nd and 10, still from the 29-yard line of Guntersville. Coming to the near side for Guntersville is number 11. That's Rinky Tully coming to the near side, or Rinker, I guess you'd make that a good name, a little bit unusual. In motion, the quarterback throws his tail back. He'll cut outside, trying to get outside. Hit once at the 30, manages to push his way to the 32, where he'll be snowed under there by a host of Wildcats led by number 61 for Fort Payne, Brant Middlebrook.
And also Gary Wright in the tackle. Great job by the Wildcat defense. So one matchup we might want to watch here. as the Guntersville has this big Josh Ballou, and on that particular play, he was matched up against Rory Jones. And, of course, a lot of people think Rory is a major college prospect, and I was kind of watching that play, and Rory won that battle as he just kind of shook Ballou off and didn't make the tackle, but he did a good job. Here's a big third down play.
Picked up about 3 yards on the play, so it's 3rd and a long 6. Quarterback in takes. He fakes to the fullback, flows across the middle, has his receiver at the 45 inside Fort Payne territory, inside the 45 of Fort Payne down to about the 42-yard line. And that was number 10 making the reception, Jonathan Johnson. It'll be first down for Guntersville.
A receiver just kind of got wide open in the center of that Wildcat defense. And we talked to that Darrell Prater how much we're going to miss not seeing him in there on offense, but we're also going to miss seeing Darrell on defense. And they threw right where Darrell would have been, so Fort Payne's going to need to kind of straighten up that defense a little bit.
Jonathan Sugar made the tackle. Once again, Dandridge, your quarterback. He's under center. This time he'll hand to his tailback. That's number 7. He cuts outside at the 40. Gets loose inside the 35 and finally knocked out of bounds around the 32-yard line of Fort Payne. And finally, Jonathan Dreyer knocking him out of bounds.
10:40 to go in the first quarter, and the Fort Payne defense kind of giving up a lot of yards right away. Already in scoring territory are the Guntersville Wildcats.
So another first down. He picks up 11 yards on the play. So now it's 1st and 10 from just outside the Fort Payne 31. Dandridge again, your quarterback, set deep as 7. Coming to the near side once again, that is Tully. Dandridge takes a snap, throws back to Wiggs in the backfield. He's inside the 30, cuts inside, another little cut around the 25, and there's a flag on the play.
Flag on the play. I think you're going to see maybe Guntersville moved on that side. Looked to me like a movement or maybe even a hold as the referee, the umpire, threw that flag. They're going to get Guntersville for a hold, but Ballou that time went after Fort Payne's linebacker, Jonathan Dreyer, and Dreyer just shook him off. So a couple times we've been zeroed in on what Ballou was doing, and Fort Payne's won both of those battles so far, but it's a long night. Guntersville going to be penalized 10 yards for holding.
So Guntersville on the side of getting the penalty. That'll move it back outside the Fort Payne 41. Well, nose almost back as far as the 42-yard line, where Guntersville will have a 1st and 20.
Might want to look for that pass over the middle again.
Once again, Dandridge is under center. Here's your quarterback, split to the far side. This time is number 11. Once again, that's Tully. Man in motion is number 9. And this time the quarterback will fake up the middle, and he'll be hit immediately. That's the fullback getting hit immediately as he gets the ball, and he'll make it into about the 40-yard line, maybe a pickup of 1 yard on the play.
And they tried to run it right over Josh Ballou again, and you saw the results there as Rory Jones and Jonathan Dreyer made the tackle, but a lot of other white shirts on top of it. So Fort Payne doing a good job so far of controlling Josh Ballou, that 6'4", 300-pound senior who is already committed to play for the University of Georgia. He's lined up at the right guard position on this near side.
2nd and 19 for Guntersville at the Wildcat, Fort Payne Wildcat, 40-yard line. Standridge again under center. He'll look back. He's looking to the right, trying to hit a receiver to the right. He'll throw and underthrow, trying to hit number 11, Tully, and he underthrows him inside the 30.
Not a very good pass that time as King tried to hit the receiver down here, but Fort Payne had good coverage as Kenny Chadwick and Crabtree were there, and he really had him covered up. He wouldn't have been able to complete the pass, I don't think, anyway. But the pass was thrown into the ground, brings up a big 3rd down play for Guntersville.
Also, good pressure on the quarterback that time from the Wildcats, and brings up a 3rd and still, well, they'll say 18 now. 3rd and 18 for Guntersville at the Fort Payne 40-yard line. Standridge again under his center. To the near side's number 11, that's Tully. Man in motion. And Standridge, he'll take the snap, fade back. He's looking to the right side again, trying to hit Tully. Instead, he sets a screen up the middle, and it'll be broken up there by Fort Payne.
Rory Jones almost intercepted that screen pass.
Trying to set up a middle screen, and right on the spot was Rory Jones to knock it down, and that'll bring up a 4th and 18. And the Wildcats will get it back as Kenny Chadwick moves back inside the Fort Payne 15-yard line to kick it away for Guntersville. Will be number, I believe that maybe is number 12, King. King puts his foot into it, gets it away. Kenny Chadwick will take it in, and he'll call a fair catch, but the ball is way into the end zone. So the Fort Payne Wildcats will have it 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
Rory Jones, the first time he's played any defense is this year. He's been an offensive lineman, an outstanding offensive lineman. And we saw on that play a couple of the opportunities for Rory. Almost intercepted that screen pass and did a great job, and he was matched up against Josh Ballou. So now Rory is going to have to go back on defense, and I think he's also going to be matched up against Ballou. on defense as they put Blue at that right tackle position on the far side, and he'll be matched up against Rory. So let's see if Rory can do anything on offense. He's already done a great job on defense.
So Kenny Chadwick, your quarterback, fullback, I believe Jonathan Dreyer, Anthony Thompson in this week, replacing Prater is the tailback. Kenny fakes, hands it to Thompson, and it's a fake. Kenny wants to throw, rolling left, throws and has Heath Owen wide open at the 40-yard line on the near side.
Great fake by Kenny Chadwick, as I think everybody here thought not Darryl Prater, but Anthony Thompson had the ball on that right wing, and Kenny did a great job of finding Heath Owen, and Heath caught the ball in stride, got it up to across the 40-yard line. Fort Payne big yardage on their first play.
So a big play hitting the tight end for the first on the first down for Fort Payne. They have the ball at their own 41-yard line, 1st and 10. Again, Chadwick under center. We have Thompson at tailback, and Jonathan Dreyer is your fullback. He'll hand it to Thompson inside breaks outside at the 45 and pushes the way all the way out to about the 48-yard line.
Same play, Roger, except this time they gave it to Anthony Thompson. He ran behind Rory Jones on that far side, ran right at Big Baloo and gained 7 yards on the first play. The Fort Payne's offensive line doing a great job as they just knocked that defensive line back out of the way.
So 2nd down and 3 from the 48-yard line, the Fort Payne Wildcats. Chadwick again under center, Dreyer, Thompson behind him. To the near side is the Cobra. This time they'll hand to the fullback, and they're looking for Jonathan. He'll get up to the 50, and he'll be 1 yard short of a first down.
But good hard running there by Jonathan Dreyer. Also on that far side, Heath Owen doing a good job blocking in there. Heath Owen and Rory Jones were lined up against Baloo, did a great job, and Jonathan broke it back to this side, almost picked up his first down, maybe less than a yard to go for the first down.
A little less than 1. Looked like they were waiting on Jonathan on that play, but anyway, Larry, a little bit less than 1 for the first down. Chadwick again comes under center. Jonathan Dreyer again is your fullback. He'll hand off to Thompson in the backfield. He'll break across for the first down, finding his way down near the 46-yard line, and he'll have his first down.
You said the key word there, fighting, as Anthony Thompson, a great job as he battled for that first down. He was actually hit right around the line of scrimmage and just kept battling. For a little guy, he sure is strong, and he made a great run to pick up Fort Payne's second first down of the night.
So the Fort Payne Wildcats in the Guntersville Wildcats territory, just outside the Guntersville 46-yard line. 7 minutes, 30 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. The Wildcats' first possession of the game, and we're moving the ball pretty good thus far as Kenny Chadwick again under center. The backfield still the same. Kenny calls his signals, and he'll go back. This time he'll hand again to Thompson, broke across the right side, up the middle, makes a cut inside, and he'll push his way down to about the 42-yard line. Pick up of about 5 yards.
Completed the pass on that first play from scrimmage. Guntersville not respecting the Wildcat passing game as they had 8 men up on the line of scrimmage that time. Only had that one safety back there. That was Jonathan Johnson, but Fort Payne still running against that 8-9 man line. The Fort Payne offensive line still able to knock him out of the way for a 5-yard gain.
Ball at the Guntersville 41 after a gain of 5 yards. 2nd and 5 with Chadwick again under center. Kenny looks back, he's wanting to throw over, has a slant across the middle, hits Justin Pate at the 30, down to the 25 to the 22-yard line goes Justin Pate. So a good slant-in pattern, and Kenny was on target.
Guntersville had 10 men in the box on that play. Johnson, the only deep man, and Kenny Chadwick made them pay for it. Fort Payne has a first down inside the 25 of Guntersville. In the play and in the first quarter with 6:37 to go in the first quarter, no score, but Fort Payne on a drive.
So far, good day or good night for the Fort Payne offense as they're moving downfield. They have a first down at the 23, 22-yard line of Guntersville. And Chadwick again under center. This time he'll fake his fullback, and fullback keeps it. It goes inside the 20 to the 18, maybe the 17-yard line, goes Jonathan Dreyer.
Fort Payne looks like they can do about anything they want to against this Guntersville defense. Everything they've tried tonight has worked to perfection. Jonathan Dreyer ran it for 7 yards on that play. Fort Payne has it inside the 20 at about the 17-yard line.
Officially, they'll give him 6 yards. It'll bring up a 2nd down and 4. The ball at the 16-yard line of Guntersville. Kenny takes a snap. Look, this time he'll hand to Thompson in the backfield. He starts out that side, then cuts it back in the middle, and will get inside the 15 to the 14-yard line.
They're going to be about maybe a yard short of the first down. The shortest play tonight for Fort Payne from scrimmage as they tried to hit that right side. Josh Ballou made that tackle as he beat a couple of Wildcat blockers over there. It'll be 3rd down and 1 for Fort Payne. Inside the Guntersville 14.
Only the 2nd time tonight Fort Payne's faced a 3rd down. Again, it is 3rd and 1 as Jonathan Dreyer and Thompson is in the backfield. Chadwick under center. This time he'll fade back, fake to Thompson. He's rolling left, wants to throw. He throws, and as he throws at the goal line, he's in. Let's see, touchdown, Fort Payne. Heath Owen.
Great play calling by the Wildcats. And Heath Owen was wide open, and an outstanding pass from Kenny Chadwick. Heath Owen caught it about the 1 and just refused to go down, battled his way into the end zone. Fort Payne grabs the 6-0 lead.
Do not think Guntersville was looking for that, Larry. I think they were looking for us to try to pick up the first on the 1-yard plunge, and Fort Payne caught them looking.
Absolutely, and now with 5:07 to go in the quarter, Jonathan Sugar will try to tack up the extra point.
Snap is down. Sugar's kick is up, and it's good. And with 5:07 remaining in the first quarter, it is Fort Payne 7, Guntersville 0. Back in just a moment on the Wildcat Sports Network. Harry on the first possession for Fort Payne.
Impressive play calling also by the Wildcat coaching staff. Seemed like Guntersville, when they thought Fort Payne was going to throw, they ran it. When they expected to pass, Fort Payne ran the ball, and just the opposite. So a great job by the Wildcat defense, and an outstanding job by the coaching staff and play calling on that drive.
Wiggs and Bush back. Kenny Chadwick steps into it at the 40-yard line. It'll come down to 7. That's Josh Wiggs on the near side at the 10. He's at the 15, 20. Cuts, tries to get to the outside, breaks through a line of defenders, and falls down around the 24-yard line. So, once again, Larry, good punt or kick coverage by the Fort Payne Wildcats.
Lee Kennedy, the first one on that tackle, got a lot of help, though, from a lot of white shirts, including Justin Garmany. So the second kickoff for Fort Payne tonight, second outstanding job for this kickoff team after being burned 2 or 3 times last week. Fort Payne doing a good job tonight.
So once again, Dandridge will be the quarterback for Guntersville as he comes up to the ball. To the near side is Bush. Set out to the far side, number 11, that's Tully. Dandridge under center. Wildcats moving and shifting across the front of the line. He'll hand to the fullback, and he'll be hit immediately and dropped as he fights his way up. Well, he may have got across to about the 26-yard line.
Zane Hardinger dove in there to grab him around the ankle and make the tackle, but he got a lot of help from several Fort Payne. I think that quarterback is B.J. King, number 12 for Guntersville.
Yeah, they have sent him in. Number 12 is in. King is in. Carrying the ball that time was 7, Josh Wiggs. And they'll give him the better part of 2 yards. So let's call it 2nd and 7 or along, 2nd or 8 or along 7. And as you said, Larry, King is in at quarterback now. Coming to the near side's 24. That's Greg Altum. As King's under center, shifting. Altum goes into motion to the left side. Altum looks, throws it tailback. That's Tully. There's a flag on the play. Tully will make it across the 30 to the 35 and run out of bounds around the 37-yard line. They'll mark it on the 35, but there's a flag on the play.
Check the flag. I think it may be against Guntersville as that flag came in a hurry. And thrown by that side judge over there. Didn't see any Fort Payne, anybody in the neutral zone. So I think it's going to be against Guntersville. And we'll check the flag. It is a illegal procedure. Is that what the call is against Guntersville? Probably didn't have but 4 men in the backfield.
That's what it is, Larry, legal procedure. That'll mark them back 5 yards. So that will put the ball back on, well, about the 22-yard line, back from the 27 to the 22, where it'll be 2nd down and about 12 or 13 for Guntersville. As Guntersville trails 7-0, 4:14 remaining in the first quarter. Fort Payne scoring on their first possession of the night, and coming to the near side for Guntersville will be Tully. Again, King is now your quarterback as he's under center. King will look, fake to the tailback, being pursued by Jonathan Dreyer. Jonathan hits him and drops him at the 15-yard line. King
Jonathan Dreyer came through unblocked on that far side, and Mr. King never had a chance. He was lucky to hold on the ball as Dreyer caught him from the backside and just really almost tore his head off. It'll be a big loss for the Guntersville quarterback, B.J. King. Brings up 3rd down and long for Guntersville.
Yeah, King rolling to the near side, Larry, trying to set up a screen downfield. Being pressured all the way by Jonathan, could not get it off. And a 3rd and, well, they haven't put it on the scoreboard yet, but it's 3rd and long, almost about 18 yards probably for the first down. Again, King is your quarterback. To the near side again is Tully. King will look, he'll hand to the tailback. He breaks through inside the 20. He's at the 25, he's at the 30. Being pursued, breaks loose at the 35, 40, 50, 45, and finally knocked out of bounds at the Fort Payne 45. They'll say stepped out at the Fort Payne 45. So a big play for Guntersville.
Josh Wiggs, just a sophomore, and great blocking on that left side over there. And I don't think Fort Payne was expecting that play, as the Wildcats may have been loosening that defense a little bit, expecting the pass. And Josh Wiggs, the sophomore, ran it all the way across midfield. Great run there. Great blocking by the Guntersville Wildcat left side of the offensive line.
So Guntersville moving a little better here with King at quarterback versus Dandridge. And they've picked up a first down at the Fort Payne 45. Dandridge again wanting to pass. There's a little swing pass coming to the backfield. Is Tully. He cuts inside the Fort Payne 40, makes it down to the Fort Payne 39, where he'll pick up about 6 yards on the play.
Little swing pass there, and Fort Payne diagnosed it well as Rory Jones came out and slowed him down. Then Clay Dobbs came up to close him out. So Fort Payne able to read that out. Rory Jones couldn't make the tackle behind the line of scrimmage, but he did a good job of at least disrupting the play.
So make it 2nd down and 4 for Guntersville, just inside the Fort Payne Wildcat, 40-yard line. And again, King still your quarterback, Tully in the backfield. This time they'll fake to the fullback and give to the fullback, and that's number 28, and he'll go nowhere. Good defensive play by Fort Payne's number 70, Will Stevens.
No, actually, that's Clay Dobbs on the tackle. As Clay Dobbs came in there, the 5'8", 147-pound sophomore, and made a great tackle. Will Stevens also on the play, but I think Clay Dobbs is actually the one that disrupted the play.
Clay's been playing pretty good the last few weeks, and his grandmother, we know, listens. So Clay's playing well, Grandma.
Junior high is 5-3.
So 3rd down and 5 for Guntersville at the Fort Payne 40-yard line. Again, King still the quarterback. He's under center. This time he'll hand to the tailback. He tries to get loose up the middle, and he'll pick up about 2 yards, and he'll be brought down shy of the first down.
As the Wiggs on the tackle, and Josh McDaniel in there on the tackle. Also Clay Dobbs in there again. It'll be 4th down and about 3. They tried to run the trap off of this near side, and Fort Payne diagnosed it pretty well, and I think Guntersville is going to kick the ball. We'll see, though.
Well, with teams with the records both of these have, and it really not meaning a whole lot, Larry, you really never know what they might do on this. And doesn't look like they're going to kick, as King again is under center, facing a 4th and just over 2 inside the Fort Payne 40. In motion again is number 8 for Guntersville. He calls out his signals. Looks like he might be just trying to get Fort Payne to jump, and they won't fall for it, and he'll be forced to call a timeout.
Great discipline by the Fort Payne defensive front. As you called it exactly right, Roger. They were trying to draw Fort Payne off sides. Fort Payne never budged the muscle. Guntersville, to avoid the loss, called a timeout. So timeout on the field with the score is Fort Payne 7, Guntersville nothing. We'll be back on the Wildcat Sports Network.
Back again at Chorba-Lee Stadium in Guntersville. Fort Payne up 7-0 with just over a minute to go here in the first quarter. Guntersville was facing a 4th and about 2. Tried to draw Fort Payne off sides, couldn't do it. And we'll see now if they're going to punt. Nope. Once again, the quarterback is under center. So I guess Guntersville's going to go for it. 4th and 2 inside the Wildcat 40. This time he'll fake to the fullback, keep himself cut inside, and he will not make the first down.
Wildcat white shirts all over him. Great job by the Fort Payne. We see Zane Hardinger in there, but I think Dustin Hill was the first one to make the tackle. He was, and he did not get the first down. Fort Payne will take over. Down on the sideline, talking to Rory Jones between plays. Rory feels good so far about his play against this big Josh Ballou, this 300-pounder for Guntersville. He seemed to think he's holding his own, and he looks pretty good to me, too.
But so far, Fort Payne holding their own as they come to the line again, leading 7-0. And Kenny Chadwick again, still Jonathan Dryer's the fullback. Thompson again is your tailback. Cobra to the near side. They pitch back to Thompson. Thompson cuts inside the 35, outside to the 40, the 42, and maybe even the 44-yard line goes Anthony Thompson.
Great block out there by Jonathan Dryer, the fullback for Fort Payne. He also got some help on that right side from Heath Ord, and once again, Rory Jones out there on the block. Talking to Darrell Prater down here on the sideline. He says the knee, he thinks, will be okay by next week. Expects to play next week against Johnson High School. 47 seconds to go in the quarter.
And the Wildcats facing a 2nd and 3 at their own 44-yard line, leading 7-0. Again, coming to the ball is Kenny Chadwick. Chadwick looks to the near side, calling his signals. This time he'll fake, hand on the reverse to number 80, and he is smothered. That's Alex Igo, and they sniffed that one out and brought him down for a loss.
First negative play of the night for Fort Payne as they tried to run the reverse to Alex Igo, and you called it exactly right. They spelled that one out. Fort Payne's going to be 3rd down and long when we come back. I think that's probably going to be the last play of the quarter, down to 14 seconds to go in the first quarter, and that's probably not going to get another play off. Fort Payne's going to go ahead and just stay in the huddle. So, Roger, first quarter is history. Fort Payne leads at 7-0.
And we'll take a little break here on the Wildcat Sports Network and be back in just a moment. Keep listening.
The Alabama Band Fan Club at the South Y in Fort Payne for other gifts and souvenirs.
Fort Payne facing another 3rd and 8 from their own 39-yard line. Chadwick under center looks. He'll fake to Thompson in the backfield. Rolling left. Will throw, has the Cobra wide open inside the 30. Kenny can't see him. Will run it instead and get just outside the 45 to the 46. and it's going to be close for the first down.
That was that rollout option, runner pass, and Kenny kept the ball. I think he had Heath open down here. It'll be fourth down, though, and Fort Payne, I think they're going to go for it as they send Alex Igo in. And Fort Payne has fourth down in a yard or so. They're going to go for it.
Larry, on the other side of the field from you, that was the Cobra, wide open.
Yep, they're going to go for it on fourth down.
So fourth and less than a yard for Fort Payne from their own 46-yard line, and I guess we have a timeout here called by Guntersville.
Guntersville burned the timeout. They had a receiver back there, so Fort Payne's going to go for it. We'll be back in 30 seconds on the Wildcat Sports Network.
Just underway here again in Guntersville. Fort Payne facing a 4th and 1. Their first fourth down situation of the night. Guntersville faced one just a series earlier and did not make it on fourth. And Larry, Fort Payne trying to pick up the first.
Look for Fort Payne to run the power play as with Anthony Thompson. Probably run it to the right side, right behind Rory Jones and Heath Owen.
Formation, though.
So let's see if that's well, Fort Payne's in punt formation. Must have changed their mind. Now they're going to shift up here. I think they're going to run it right at Guntersville.
Yeah, they're back in their formation, their same backfield. Kenny will take it. He'll hand to Thompson. Thompson caught right, and I don't think he made it. It's going to be close. He was hit initially around the 45-yard line, did struggle forward just a bit, and Guntersville doesn't think he made it, and we'll have to have the official timeout for the measurement. And they're not even going to measure. They're just going to say Guntersville ball, so both teams have stopped the other on fourth down.
Good job by the Guntersville defense as they came up there and knocked Anthony down right around the line of scrimmage. But a good call there. Fort Payne had a good chance right around midfield to make the first down and just couldn't get it done, but they still lead it by a score of 7-0.
Well, the other side of the coin now, Guntersville gets the ball at the Fort Payne 46-yard line. So good field position for Guntersville, and really they haven't moved. It had one fairly decent play. Guntersville under center again is King. He'll handle his tailback. He's knocked down by Dreyer immediately.
Not a whole lot there as Fort Payne came in there and knocked him down. That was, who was that? Will Stevens in there.
Dreyer.
Also had some help out from Clay Dobbs again. So no gain on that play. And now the way that blow sounded from down here, I think Jonathan Dreyer must have been involved in that play somewhere.
Yeah, Jonathan Dreyer hit him pretty good, Larry, and they stopped him for no gain. Actually, according to yard markers there, he probably lost about a yard, a foot on the play. So we'll call it still second down, 10 to go. Ball just outside the 45-yard line of Fort Payne. King still is the quarterback for Guntersville. Sends his man in motion coming to the near side. King takes the ball, looks, fakes, and hands to the fullback. He runs into a wall, picks up about 3 yards, and he's brought down there.
Jonathan Dreyer in there on the tackle. Also got a lot of help from Brett Middlebrooks on that far side, but Guntersville just not able to run against Fort Payne. With 10:19 to go in the half, Fort Payne leading at 7-0. The defense, for the most part, has played extremely well tonight. Been burned on maybe one play when Guntersville had third down in about 14, and they ran that sweep to the far side to that sophomore tailback, and he ran for about 35 yards. But other than that one play, it's been all Fort Payne.
Jeremy Taylor was also in on that tackle, Larry. He brings up a 3rd and about 7 for Guntersville. Once again, the ball outside the Wildcat 42-yard line, facing another possession down. Guntersville still has King in. His tailback's the same, Tully. And he'll hand to the tailback. He'll throw back to the quarterback, King. He's throwing to the right side, trying to hit a player, and it'll be knocked down. Well, really not knocked down. It went through a Wildcat defender's hands.
Almost was a reception.
Almost caught by the Guntersville receiver.
Justin Garman, he read that play as they ran the little flea flicker, handed the ball off to Thrasher. Thrasher turned around and pitched it back to King. And Justin Garmany was there all the way, but he almost overran that play. And that Guntersville receiver almost caught the ball over his head, but a good job by Justin Garmany. Guntersville will kick it.
And the snap almost over King's head. He'll kick the ball. Back deep is Kenny Chadwick at his own 5. Ball will take a big hop and trickle into the end zone where it'll be 1st and 10 from Fort Payne from their own 20.
Ball bounced around the 10 and took a great Fort Payne bounce into the end zone. The Wildcats will get it at the 20, leading it by a score of 7-0. About halfway through this first half, and Fort Payne's looked impressive tonight, Rod.
So far, so good, Larry. With both teams had a good defensive stop. When they were both stopped, well, each stopped the other team on a 4th and 1 or 2. So we'll have to see now. Fort Payne can move from outside or just inside their own 20-yard line with 9 minutes and 30 seconds remaining here in the first half of play. Kenny Chadwick again under center. This time he'll fake to the fullback, gives Thompson. He's outside the 20, 25, 30. He breaks it, has one man to beat her on the sideline. He could go all the way, catch it back in. 50, 40 of Guntersville, 35, 30, 25, 20. One man can catch him, and he'll never get him. Touchdown, Anthony Thompson.
Anthony got a great block from Heath Owen at about the 20-yard line, and then he just flat ran over Blake Tully. Tully, the junior cornerback, came up there and made contact with Anthony around the 35, and Anthony Thompson just flat ran over him and took it all the way 80 yards for the touchdown. Fort Payne leads it 3-0. 13-0, that is, isn't it?
Yeah, that makes it 13, Larry, and who says we wouldn't have big plays without?
Wasn't me, said Dad. Anthony had a big run last week against Hazel Green. Went 69 yards for a touchdown. Extra point attempt is up and looks good. It is good. 9:14 to go in the half. Fort Payne leads it 14-0. We'll be back on the Wildcat Sports Network.
Fort Payne taking a 14-0 lead with 9:14 to go here in the first half. And Fort Payne looking pretty good so far on offense.
Anthony said, down here on the sideline talking to Anthony, he said Blake Tully just got in his way, so he decided he just run over him. Tully outweighs him by about 30 pounds, and Anthony just ran over him, knocked him on his backside, and took it 80 yards for the touchdown.
Guntersville again with Wiggs waiting deep, along with number 3. That's Bush. Wiggs and Bush deep, waiting for Kenny's kick. And Guntersville, have to be a little bit discouraged here after giving up an 80-yard touchdown run. As Kenny approaches the ball, he'll kick it up and deep. It's going to the left side, and it'll go out of bounds, and I guess Guntersville will take it at the 35-yard line.
If Guntersville take that ball on the 35-yard line, kick it out of bounds in high school, you get a choice to take it in on the 35, make them penalize them 5 yards, and make them kick it again. I think the Wildcats are going to take it on the 35. Why not? The Wildcat kicking team has done a great job of pinning Guntersville back. They're going to go ahead and take it on the 35.
Yeah, so far Wildcats of Fort Payne has held them around the 20-yard line on the kicks. So this is really about a 15-yard gain of field position from the other kick. So Guntersville will take it on their 35-yard line, trailing 14-0 here in the first half. Once again, the quarterback is King. He replaced Dandridge after the first series. King will take it, hand to his tailback Tully. He'll cut inside, and he'll be hit once, twice, and fight his way out to the 39-yard line.
Great job there by the Wildcat defense. Zane Hardinger came up there and hit him, but also Clay Dobbs on the tackle. Clay Dobbs is giving Jonathan Dreyer a breather right now in that linebacker position. He's played well tonight. Both those young men got a lot of help from that defensive front of Fort Payne, but Jonathan Dreyer getting a chance to rest a little tonight.
Gain of 4 yards on the play brings up 2nd down and 6 from the Guntersville 39-yard line. King again under center. This time he'll hand to his tailback, and he'll keep. He fakes to him. Being pressured, hit, and dropped, and he'll pick up nothing on the play.
Great job by the Fort Payne defense as they came up there and knocked him down. Big play there was made by Brent Middlebrook. No, that wasn't Middlebrook. Who was that came up and made the initial tackle? I think one of those defensive ends, one of those youngsters is in there. Gary Wright was in there, who was forced to play. Got a lot of help in there from Dustin Hill, who came across to help close him out.
So a 3rd down and 6 now for the Guntersville Wildcats. And as they come up to center, to set to the near side this time is Bush. He's to the near side. To the far side is number 11, Tully. The quarterback rolls right, wanting to throw right, being pressured. He's hit as he lets it go, and it's way overthrown as he tried to go across the middle. Good pressure by Fort Payne. So
Maurice Porum in the defensive line for Fort Payne now. He's that freshman, Roger, that played against Buckhorn. We didn't know who he was, but he's number 66, playing on that defensive side over there. Applied the pressure, and just a freshman. Fort Payne will get the football back as they drop defensive man back here, Kenny Chadwick, around the 30-yard line.
So Guntersville having to kick it away. The kicker stands at his own 30, gets a wobbly, ugly kick along the near sideline. It'll go out of bounds at the Fort Payne 30-yard line, where Fort Payne will have it 1st and 10 from their own 30. So
Not
a good defensive stand there by Fort Payne.
Not a very good kick at all, and Fort Payne will get the ball in great field position. We see Kenny Chadwick still in there at quarterback, and Anthony Thompson is your tailback. Jonathan Dreyer now in at the fullback position. So Fort Payne has most of their starters still in there with 7:50 to go in the quarter and the half, leading by a score of 14-0.
We still haven't seen Justin Garmany at fullback yet tonight, and that's a little bit different.
He's playing defense, full-time defense now, I think.
Kenny Chadwick again is underneath center, as you said, still the same backfield. Kenny fakes to the fullback. He'll keep himself. He's outside the 40, the 45, and nearing the 50-yard line. goes Kenny Chadwick.
Great fake by Kenny Chadwick. He put the ball in the gut of Jonathan Dreyer, and the Guntersville defense went to it, pulled it out, and rambled down this near sideline for big yardage. A great fake there by Kenny Chadwick.
So Fort Payne now with a first down at their own 48-yard line. A big pickup by Kenny. He picked up how many yards running on that play?
Picked up 18 yards, first down.
First down, Fort Payne at their own 48 as they lead 14-0. 7 minutes. We're approaching that here in the first half. Kenny this time will hand the drive. Pull back across the 50, inside the 45, down to about the 44-yard line. Goes Jonathan Dreyer just bullying ahead.
Great blocking on that far side over there. Brian Jones with a good block as they ran the trap to the far side, and Jonathan Dreyer picked up about 9 yards on that play. So anything Fort Payne is running tonight is working. Chris Mitchell in the game at fullback for Fort Payne.
Give him 9 yards on the play, 2nd down and 1. So Larry, with 1 yard to go, we'll see if Fort Payne tries a little for a big play on this down. Chadwick again under center. He'll toss back to Thompson. Thompson is nearing the 40. He's hit, falls forward, breaks the tackle. He's at the 35 and finally brought down right at the 35-yard line after he picks up his first down and about 6-7 yards on the play.
An outstanding steal block there by Justin Pate as he just pinned that defensive end to the inside and allowed the big gain there by Fort Payne. Fort Payne has the first down, but outstanding blocking by Justin Pate.
Anthony Thompson, 8 carries, 110 yards, and we're still almost 7 minutes away from half.
You're talking to Darrell Prater down here a little while ago. He says he's ready to get back in there, especially the way Anthony's playing tonight, already over 100 yards.
Ball is on the 35 of Guntersville. 1st and 10, Fort Payne. Chadwick will hand up the middle, breaks loose. That's number 33 for Fort Payne. He's going to go all the way, and that's Chris Mitchell. Touchdown, Wildcats.
That's Chris Mitchell's 3rd touchdown of the year. He had a couple of touchdowns against Buckhorn, and Chris Mitchell rambled right up the middle and took it all the way for a touchdown. Fort Payne doing a great job on offense. The offensive line really opened a hole on that left side.
Yeah, kind of snuck Mitchell in there on us. The first change in the backfield tonight, and right off the bat, he goes 35 yards, and the Wildcats are up 20-0. And we'll see if we can get this extra point here by none other than number 14 for Fort Payne, Jonathan Sugar. Kick is up. Kick is good. Fort Payne 21, Guntersville 0. Back in just a moment on the Wildcat Sports Network. Again, back at Guntersville. Fort Payne taking a 21-0 lead with 6:23 remaining in the first half. That time a 35-yard touchdown run by Mitchell. And, Larry, this is showing signs of being a runaway.
Well, I think it is. We're going to have to change Chris Mitchell's name to Touchdown Mitchell. The guy hadn't touched the ball but about 7 times all year. Scored 3 touchdowns, and that was a thing of beauty as he rambled right up the middle, got great blocking, and scored from 35 yards out.
So, again, Chadwick will kick. This time it'll go out of bounds again, and we'll give the ball back to Guntersville at the 35-yard line.
Not bad strategy at all. I think they may have done that intentionally. They were talking on the sideline over here, and Kenny just drilled it out of bounds. Give it to him on the 35. Why not?
Well, the way the defense has been playing, we're not giving them very much. So, you know, you can afford to give them that field position. Not like last week in Hazel Green, where consistently they were getting the ball at midfield. So, once again, coming back in for Guntersville, the quarterback will be King. King, well, I guess he had been a little more successful than Dandridge, and they took Dandridge out after the first series. So King will come under center. Coming to the near side again is Bush. Split to the far side is number 11, Tully. King, we got a man in motion coming to the near side. King will take. He'll throw to the tailback. He'll cut outside the 30 to the 35, 36-yard line, and knocked out of bounds there. Oh, he broke loose. How he got out of that, I'll never know, but there's a flag on the play as he's finally brought down outside the 46.
Check the flag back on this side. I think they may have got Guntersville for an illegal block or something back well behind the play as they're pointing towards Guntersville, and I think it is going to be against Guntersville. Holding it is against the Wildcats. Guntersville, when they do get off a good play, they hurt themselves by penalty.
So it is holding.
He stepped off against the Wildcats.
I don't know how he got loose over there on the sideline. Larry thought he was down. Next thing you know, here he come barreling out again. But it all goes for naught as that will be called for holding. And that will back Guntersville up. And once again, a positive play for Guntersville has been negated by a penalty.
Jonathan Sugar has played quite a bit on defense this year. He started the game tonight, started a couple of games in defensive secondary. He's doing well back there for Fort Payne.
So the ball now will be on Guntersville's own 24-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 20 for Guntersville. Again, coming to the near side is Bush. Under center, King is still the quarterback. The Wildcats looking like they may be going to blitz. This time they'll hand to the tailback. He'll get knocked down. That's a Jonathan Dreyer hit.
Number 40 there on that tackle, Jonathan Dreyer. That freshman we talked about a little while ago, Rod, still in at that defensive end on the far side, doing a great job, just a freshman, but that tackle was made by the senior, Jonathan Dreyer, and when he hits, he hits.
They'll give him 1 yard.
The second down and long for Guntersville, 21-0. Fort Payne with a big lead.
So he'll pick up 1 yard on the play. Second and a long 18, short 19. He again under center, this time to the near side. Guntersville has number, 23 given. And they'll do a reverse to the far side, and we sniff that one out, and Crabtree and others bring him down for a loss on the play.
Jonathan Sugart and Britton Middlebrooks on the tackle. They both read that. They tried to hit that quick pass out to the far side, and Jonathan Sugart and Britton Middlebrooks in there to tackle him behind the line of scrimmage. Guntersville going the wrong way.
You know, Larry, they're trying a lot of innovative plays, but they're not working, and Fort Payne's everything seems to be working.
Fort Payne is just beating this Guntersville team along the line of scrimmage is what you've got to do. And they're whipping them along the line of scrimmage. And they have a lot of fresh faces in there, does Fort Payne. Still winning the battle along the line of scrimmage. A big third down play. Guntersville needs to get out of the huddle.
Ball all the way back now at their 20, so they've gone backwards 15 yards. So now it is a 3rd and 25 yards for a first down.
Here's a flag for a delayed game. Last time they were backed up like this, you know, remember they ran Josh Wiggs, that sophomore, on the sweep. See if they do the same thing, try to play it a little conservative, or see if they throw the ball. They're really backed up now, though.
So now the ball will go back to the 15-yard line. So now we've had 20 yards of losses so far in this series for Guntersville.
That's their fourth penalty for 30 yards. On the other hand, the Wildcats of Fort Payne, 0 penalties.
It's a shame we couldn't have this type game last week. Once again, King is under center, and the motion is number 33. He'll come to the near side. King looks, and he's pressured. He'll be dropped for a loss by Jonathan Dreyer inside the 10.
They're going to have to kick from deep in their own territory. If they get off a kick like they did a little while ago, Fort Payne is going to be in scoring position right off the bat. But a great job by the Wildcat defense.
Well, they sent Havas in motion, didn't fool anyone. King kept the ball. Dreyer came in, knocked him down all the way back inside the 10-yard line. And Guntersville will have to kick the ball away, and we should get great field position as I guess this is Chadwick back inside Guntersville territory at the 45.
Tyler Cooper is the deep man.
It's Tyler Cooper instead of Chadwick. He'll take it inside the 50, but momentarily drops it, picks it up, and by that time coverage is caught up with him, and he's knocked down about the 49-yard line of Fort Payne. So about 2-yard loss on the return for Fort Payne and Cooper, but the Wildcats have the ball again, leading 21-0 with 3:42 remaining here in the first half.
Basically, the first team still in for Fort Payne. Of course, they don't have a lot of players. Only 37 players on the roster. But Fort Payne going with that first team offense, and that means Kenny Chadwick will be in there to run the offense. Jonathan Dreyer is your fullback. You've got a new tailback in here. And that is Josh McDaniel. So Josh McDaniel, his first carry of the night, maybe on this play.
Alex, I go to the near side, the Cobra to the far side. He'll hand up the middle, and that's number 44 in the game running the ball.
That's Josh McDaniel.
Josh
He made that big run for about 6 or 7 yards. Great run there by Josh.
Good run, McDaniel. They'll say he picked up about 7 yards. It'll bring up a 2nd down and 3 for Fort Payne. So a 7-yard pickup, Larry, by Josh McDaniel.
Fort Payne people remember Curtis McDaniel and Thomas McDaniel. That's their little brother. And he's going to be a good football player. Talking to the coaches a little earlier, only problem, he seems to fumble too much. He can hang on that football. He's going to see a lot more playing time, especially next year.
2nd and 3. Dreyer's back in. This time to go to McDaniel again. He cuts on the outside. He'll pick up his first. He's inside the 40, the 35, the 30. Finally knocked out of bounds way downfield at the 22-yard line.
Jonathan Dreyer is going to be called for a clip over here, or a hole. But Jonathan Dreyer wiped out 2 players on this sideline right in front of us. And the official threw a flag. I didn't see anything there, but they're going to get him for something. Either a hold, they get him for a hold. But I didn't see any hold, as he just wiped out 2 players. And maybe these officials just couldn't believe that one guy could wipe out that many players. He knocked them both on the ground, though, right in front of us here.
Yeah, they marked it or threw the flag right at the 40-yard line. He made his way down to the 20, but this one will come back, and this is the first penalty for Fort Payne on the night. So Fort Payne now will have the ball right at the 50-yard line. It'll be right at midfield. It'll be 2nd down and about, we'll call it long 8 for the first down.
Coaches on this sideline not too pleased with that call either. They wasn't anything bad about it. He just wiped two guys out, and they called him for a hold.
Mitchell again is the fullback. Chadwick will take. He'll fake to Mitchell, give to Mitchell. No, he keeps, throws back on the option to McDaniel. He bobbles it momentarily, but cuts inside the 45, down to about the 40-yard line goes McDaniel.
A lot of sighs of relief on this sideline. Josh was able to pull that ball back in, but if he could have got it cleanly, he might have been able to run down that far sideline. As Guntersville, because of the long run by Chris Mitchell a little while ago, Kenny faked the ball to Chris Mitchell, and they converged on him. McDaniel was wide open outside, but bobbled the ball just enough to give Guntersville a chance to catch up.
And that'll be a first down for Fort Payne at the 42-yard line. 2:25 here remaining in the first half of play. Fort Payne leading 21-0. Kenny Chadwick again coming to the line to scrimmage. Mitchell is the fullback. McDaniel is the tailback. And they'll pass to McDaniel, throw back to McDaniel on the sweep. He'll come to the near side. This time nothing there, and he'll be knocked down by Guntersville after a loss of about 1 yard on the play.
We've been talking about the blocking of the fullback. That time Chris Mitchell missed his block out here. He just couldn't get that defender turned in. If he could have made that block, I think McDaniel would have been running down this sideline. But Chris just could not get his shoulders around there and get that big defensive end turned around. Otherwise, it would have been maybe a touchdown for Fort Payne.
Noah Thrasher made the tackle for Guntersville as Kenny comes back up facing a 2nd and 11. He'll hand to Mitchell up the middle. He'll break free for a moment and go inside the 40 to about the 40, well, we'll call it the 39-yard line goes Chris Mitchell.
Greg Allman made the tackle on that play, and I know it's hard to believe, but if Allman doesn't make that tackle, Chris Mitchell may have scored. They ran that trap in the middle, and Allman just dove in there and tackled him around the ankles. There was a hole there, though, and Allman just dove in there, and if he hadn't got Chris by the ankles, he may have scored again.
3rd and 8 from the 39-yard line of Guntersville is Fort Payne. Chabot looks, he's wanting to slant over the middle, hits the Cobra at the 30, the 25, the 20, makes the move, still on his feet inside the 15, down to the 10-yard line, goes number 83 for Fort Payne, Thomas Ross.
Outstanding run by Thomas Ross, but we got to give Kenny Chadwick credit. He put that ball right on the middle, a difficult pass to complete, a quick look in, and Thomas Ross caught it in stride, broke a couple of tackles, and took it all the way down Fort Payne trying to score again with just a minute and 4 to go in the half. This half is flown by.
And it'll be first down for Fort Payne at the 7-yard line of Guntersville. Quickly Fort Payne moving. 1:04 remaining in the first half. Chadwick again under center. This time he'll hand to the tailback. McDaniel cuts inside, gets inside to 5, down to the 4-yard line.
Tough running in there. Good job by the Guntersville defense. Down to 53 seconds to go in the half. With Fort Payne leading about 3 touchdowns. They'll mark him just inside the 5 by about a foot. And here comes Fort Payne trying to get their 4th touchdown of the half.
Thomas Ross to the far side. Justin Pate to the near side. Chadwick again is under center. Mitchell, McDaniel, he'll hand to Mitchell. He'll fake. He tosses back, and McDaniel will lose the ball out of bounds on a little toss back, and it'll go out of bounds around the 12-yard line. So a loss of about 8 yards on the play.
They ran the option play to this near side, and I know we keep talking about it, but if Josh McDaniel could have caught that ball in stride, he would have walked into the end zone, just couldn't hang on to it. Luckily, the ball went out of bounds. Fort Payne's going to be 3rd down with 32 seconds to go in the half now. Fort Payne, Josh McDaniel out now, and Anthony Thompson back in at tailback, Johnson Dreyer in at fullback.
The clock stopped now. It's 1st and goal from the 12-yard line. In motion is number 80, Igo, going to the left side. Kenny Chadwick under center. He looks. He's looking to find Heath Owen over the middle, throws and overthrows him in the end zone, trying to hit Heath Owen.
Heath was open. The ball was thrown a little high, maybe a little hard also. But he went right through Heath's hands. It would have been a difficult catch. Fort Payne will now go for the field goal.
That's the first incompletion for Chadwick tonight. Chadwick 4 of 5.
First completed pass of the night.
First incompleted pass. Yes, it is.
That was a well-thrown ball. Heath Owen was going to get it, or nobody was. That was a good pass.
So Justin Payne will take the snap, and Jonathan Sugart will try to put the Wildcats up 24-20. There's the snap. Holds good. Kick is up. It's low, and it's looking strange, but it's good.
28-yard field goal as that just snuck over the bar. Didn't hit it real well, but he got in just enough of it to get it over the bar. Fort Payne with a 24-0 lead with 23 seconds to go in the half. We'll go ahead and take a break on the Wildcat Sports Network.
Street in Fife, your Bridgestone and Firestone dealer.
Kenny Chadwick again about to kick off to Guntersville. Fort Payne up 24-0, 23.7 seconds remaining in the first half. Kenny will just pump one up short. It'll be taken at the 25. He'll cross the 30. 35 knocked down there. And looks like the ball might have been loose over there. Kind of a little bit of scramble, but I guess they'll say that Guntersville retains it. And they'll have it at their own 35 with 17.7 seconds remaining. Larry, good job so far.
Talking to Heath Owen on that pass, he said he got bumped right before the ball was there. So they thought it was interfered with, and no call, of course. But he got bumped right before the ball got there, kind of threw him off strides. Otherwise, he thinks he would have caught that pass in the end zone a little while ago.
So Guntersville takes over at their own 30, well, we'll call it the 34-yard line. Just a few seconds remaining here in the first half. Again, King will hand to the tailback, cuts inside. He breaks one tackle, breaks a second tackle across the 40 to the 44-yard line. And he's still pushing forward, and he's finally brought down around the 45-yard line. So a tough young run there by number 7, Wiggs.
A lot of play for people in on that tackle. Jeremy Taylor, I think, made the first hit there, but also Clay Dobbs was in there, as well as you mentioned a little while ago, Justin Garmany not playing any offense. He's played well tonight on defense, so he made that tackle. Guntersville burns a timeout with 7 seconds to go. Let's go ahead and take a break with Fort Payne leading 24-0.
Once again, just over 7, well, almost 8 seconds here remaining in the first half. Guntersville has a 1st and 10 from their own 45-yard line. King is the quarterback. He'll look. He's rolling back, looking toward the left side, wants to hit someone here on the left side. Instead, throws it back the middle, and wide open at the 30-yard line of Fort Payne is number 33, Philip Havis.
Don't know how he got so wide open. Fort Payne was in that prevent defense, and he got open with 1.1 second to go in the half. But Fort Payne with a big 24-0 lead. Guntersville will probably get one more play.
This may or may not be the last play of the half.
It may be.
King rolls back as the horn sounds. He's getting pressured, throws a desperation pass toward the end zone, and it is caught, and they finally bring him down at the 1-yard line. The ball was caught at the 5, and they managed to tackle him as time runs out at the 1-foot line. And there is a flag on the play.
Face mask
May have got Fort Payne for a pass interference.
No, they got him for a face mask, so the play cannot end on a defensive penalty.
So Guntersville may very well have one more chance to get into the end zone with no time left on the clock.
They will, as Fort Payne. Fort Payne's going to call a timeout here to get organized. But they got Fort Payne for a face mask penalty down there close. And Fort Payne calls trying to get a timeout. And now they finally get the timeout call, going to get the goal line defense in there. Kind of a fluky play, though, as they completed the pass down deep in Wildcat territory. Now Guntersville has a chance to get it in the end zone on the last play.
Well, let's take a break here, Larry. Be back in just a moment on the Wildcat Sports Network. Once again at Guntersville, where thanks to a fluke play with no time remaining here, Larry, in the first half, Guntersville will get one shot to put some points on the board.
Like Fort Payne was in position to make the play, but it's like they both, the defensive back just jumped too soon, and they were already back on the ground by the time the ball got there. Here we go on the one play from the half-yard line.
So King is the quarterback. Let's see what his play will be. He's over center. He'll hand the tailback. That's number 7, and he'll dive into the end zone. Touchdown, Guntersville. Josh Wiggs scores.
That'll be a big disappointment for Fort Payne to give up that cheap touchdown there. Completed a couple long passes and got it down there, and really just a fluky play. Fort Payne's still going to lead it 24-6.
Well, a little bit of an odd play there, Larry. We hadn't seen that very often. Thank goodness we're up 24-6. And they'll...
Fluky thing just kind of happened to this team. Last week, you know, a couple of fluky mistakes, gave 3 fluky mistakes, gave the Hazel Green team 3 touchdowns, and now they get one on the virtually the last play of the half here.
Guntersville will go for 2. Again, it's King under center. They'll rush right, throw the tailback Hugs again. This time he'll be hit and dropped, and it'll be no good. And finally, with no time remaining, the first half is over with Fort Payne leading Guntersville 24-6. And Larry has Coach C.M. Sanford on the sideline.
Coach Sanford, the defensive coordinator coach. The defense played well last week, playing well tonight. Gave up a cheap touchdown there right at the end.
Yeah, I think we just kind of relaxed, and everybody thought they wasn't going to score, and we just basically stood around watching them catch the ball. You know, that's kind of, we're not too proud of that right now.
It's got to be pleased with the way the defense has played overall, though.
Yeah, we played pretty good. You know, like I said, we played good last week. We just need to, you know, eliminate some of those kinds of mistakes and be a really good team.
Okay, Coach, good luck the second half. Fort Payne had a lot of youngsters in there on that last drive, and as you mentioned, Roger, looked like they had the play well covered. They just went up to knock the ball away and just jumped too soon, it looked like, but that's just a youth mistake. But Fort Payne with the lead at halftime.
Once again, Fort Payne 24, Guntersville 6. Back in a few moments on the Wildcat Sports Network.
You got to be pleased with the score, 24-6 at halftime. You think Fort Payne's played well?
Well, we've played awfully hard. We were disappointed down at the end of the half with the long touchdown pass. I think we might have just relaxed a little bit. And the biggest thing, we didn't play the ball well. We had people in position to destroy it and just jumped up and mistimed our jumps and stuff. But we played good on offense. It hasn't been as good on defense as I'd like for it to be. We've had too many plays where the tailbacks run up in there and kind of waddled around, made 5 or 6 instead of somebody hitting him good and hard and knocking him back where he was coming from.
158 total yards for Guntersville, and 77 of that came from Josh Wiggs, that sophomore running back. So you can't be pleased with that. But on the other hand, Fort Payne rushed it for 193, 110 yards already for Anthony Thompson. He's had a big first half.
Well, he's done a good job. Not just that he made some big runs on the long touchdown run. He ran through a tackle on our sideline like a big back would do. And he's kind of stepped to the front. You know, when you come over to someplace to play and you leave a guy not dressed as good as Darryl Prater, it's got to concern you as a coach. And I'm real proud of the way the rest of them have responded. And you know, what we need to do is just go back out here and have a good second half. I'm tickled with the way they've come back and gotten back up from last week, because I don't want to say I was worried about them, but I was concerned, because you see teams that get to that point of the season and have some disheartening losses, and then they kind of drop down. But, you know, our kids have stepped up, and we just keep on stepping up because we got a lot of football left.
Got to be pleased with Kenny Chadwick, the way he's thrown the ball 4 of 5. The only incompletion was this ball in the end zone down here that Fort Payne could have completed. So Kenny's thrown the ball well.
He's played well, and he's run our offense well. He's made several good checks. He ran the ball well. You know, our fullback, Jonathan Dreyer, had a couple of good runs, and then we put Mitchell in. Mitchell did a good job. So I was real, and our offensive line, the only thing on offense I was disappointed in was when we didn't make it on 4th and 1, and that probably was a poor choice, but you know, I felt like the way we were playing defense, that was an okay gamble, and as it turns out it wasn't. But you know, I was disappointed we didn't get much of a surge right there. I don't know that it was them stopping us as much as we just didn't come off the ball very good.
Good luck second half, Coach. So Roger, a good first half for the Wildcats with a 24-6 lead. You heard Coach Elmore's side, disappointment only in the fact that gave up the touchdown at the end there. The fact that they didn't make that first down when they had the chance on 4th and 1, but I think overall he's well pleased.
With that said, Larry, we'll take a break here on the Wildcat Sports Network. Again at Guntersville, Fort Payne leading 24-6. Guntersville's team finally coming back onto the field after it being homecoming here at Chorba-Lee Stadium.
Just missed that sheep gate, too.
I can't believe they gave away a sheep gate here at the half. And doggone,
one number off. One number off.
I'm telling you, we almost won that sucker.
I tell you. What I could do with a sheep gate.
Well, as Guntersville coming back on, the captains is meeting at midfield. And let's see. Guntersville will kick off to begin the second half, and Fort Payne will receive and be on offense first. And well, let's go down and see what Larry has on the sideline.
Well, I was just going to tell you that Fort Payne won the coin toss to start the game, and they're going to receive the football. Talking to some of the offensive linemen on this side, Josh Ballou, they weren't too impressed with Mr. Ballou, who committed this week to Georgia. And they don't think he weighs 300 pounds either. They've got him listed at 6'4", 300 pounds. And they said they played against better defensive linemen this year. But he's got just a young man with a lot of growing time to go. Let's see if Fort Payne can run this kickoff back and give some of these youngsters a chance to play tonight.
Yeah, Ronnie and I commented before the game we could see that he was 6'4", but he didn't quite look 300.
No, I don't think so. But he's a big youngster.
So Fort Payne will get the ball first here in the second half. Chance to increase the 24-6 lead. As we said, Guntersville getting on the board with no time left in the first half. Really the only time they even threatened throughout the first half to score.
First time Fort Payne has received tonight. Anthony Thompson is deep on the far side. Alex Igo, actually Anthony's in the middle. Alex Igo on the far side. David Crabtree on this near side. So the first time for Fort Payne to receive the football tonight.
So Anthony Thompson is deep. On the other side is Alex Igo, the near side David Crabtree. And now we're waiting on the kickoff. Is it Seth Carr, 14?
B.J. King to kick it away.
B.J. King, number 8, kicking it. is taken on
Fort Payne
by...
got a break there.
Just hit number 47 square.
That ball hit Lee Kennedy, a line drive shot. It hit Lee Kennedy on the shoulder and shot straight down, and Guntersville had a chance to recover that. It was not an onside kick. He just didn't hit it very good and knocked it right into Lee Kennedy, who tried to get out of the way of it, and it popped down there, and Fort Payne fell on it. I'm not sure who fell on it, but Fort Payne will have it in great position just outside the 40.
So their ball at the almost the 41. Again, Jonathan Dreyer, Thompson the backfield. Kenny Chadwick again under center. First play of the second half. He'll hand back to Thompson, breaks inside it to the 50, inside the 50 to the 49-yard line. The 12-yard pickup on the first play of the second half for Fort Payne.
Jeremy Taylor on the block there. He's done a good job for Fort Payne as Anthony Thompson ran for a first down. Talking to some of the folks down here, they can't believe that Anthony Thompson is Fort Payne's backup tailback. But he is. Darrell Prater's run for over 1,000 yards this year. And Anthony, he's a strong runner. You can see that down on the sideline here. He ran over a couple of Guntersville players on that play.
Well, that'll put him up to about 121 yards so far on the night. As Fort Payne picks up the first down. This time to Dreyer. He goes inside the 45, inside the 40 to the 39-yard line. Straight up the middle goes Jonathan Dreyer.
Rory Jones and Jeremy Taylor in there blocking as Jonathan Dreyer. He ran about 5 yards backwards. If he could have got his feet under him there, he might have been able to score. But a good job of blocking by Rory Jones and Jeremy Taylor.
So they're going to say it's second and very, very short for the first down. So Fort Payne again looking at Kenny Chadwick, and he'll be under center. He looks this time. He'll throw back to Thompson. Thompson's being pressured, cuts to the outside. He'll get inside for the first down and makes another good cut around the 36 and falls forward to about the 34-yard line. So he'll pick up about 5 yards on the play.
I don't know if you realize what a great run that was. But he was hit behind the line of scrimmage. Really didn't know if he's going to get his first down or not. But if we talked a couple of times, he is really, really strong, and he just broke a tackle and picked up an additional 5 yards on that play, and it didn't look like there was anything there. And down on the sideline, Darrell Prater is chomping at the bit to get back in the game next week.
So they'll get it at the 35-yard line, place it there. We have, for Fort Payne, we have Justin Pate to the near side. Chadwick looks. He wants the option. He'll keep the ball cut inside, and he might get 1 yard on the play as Guntersville read that one very well.
Rory Jones had Josh Ballou on the ground on that play, but Ballou had a lot of help. As a couple of those linebackers, Daggett and Alpine, came across there to help out on that play, but a good job there by Rory Jones as he was matched up head-on-head against Josh Ballou, and he put him on the ground.
So officially they'll say he didn't pick up anything, maybe a foot on the play. So we'll still call it second down now and 10 to go for Fort Payne. Then to the near side this time is Alex Igo. He's in motion. He's downfield. Kenny back looking at Igo. Can't find anyone. Breaks free up the middle. Cuts to outside. He's at the 30, the 25, down inside the 25 to the 20, and finally knocked out of bounds around the 19-yard line.
Brian Jones and Dustin Hill, outstanding job in that offensive line as they had that left side completely sealed off. And Kenny rolled that way and saw that big hole, and he ran for big yardage down that left side. But a good job by the offensive line, especially by Brian Jones and Dustin Hill. Fort Payne has a first down with 10:09 to go. They already lead it 24-6.
Again, Pate is to the near side. To the far side is that Gary Mintz, I believe, into the game. Number 12 to the far side. Backfield remains the same. They'll hand up the middle to Dreyer. He'll fight for tough yardage up the middle, and he'll get inside the 20 to the 19-yard line.
Brian Jones again came across with a little trap block there, it looked like, and he just knocked that nose guard out of the way, and Jonathan Dreyer ran for about 3 yards, but it didn't look like there was a whole lot there. He got about 4 yards out of it.
He's down to almost the 20, down to the 21-yard line, and it'll be second down.
Actually got him out on the 15, Roger.
You're going to mark it on the 15?
Out on the 15.
So it'll be second down and about 6 for Fort Payne. Again to the near side, Thomas Ross to the near side. Guntersville moving around. Chadwick backs back out, maybe changing the play, back under center. And he'll turn around, fake to the fullback, hand to the tailback. He breaks free inside the 10, the 5. Touchdown goes Anthony Thompson.
You got to give Kenny Chadwick credit on that play. He checked out of it. He saw that Guntersville was going to bring those two linebackers. He checked out of the play he had called. They ran that counter play to Anthony Thompson to the far side. Left side of the offensive line did a great job, and Anthony went in for the touchdown. Fort Payne leads it 30-6.
Yeah, tough running then by Thompson, so add 20 more yards, and he's up nearing the 150 mark so far as number 14, Sugar, will try for the extra point. Hold is down, kick is up, and it's high enough, it's good enough. So Fort Payne now leads 31-6, 9:22 remaining here in the third quarter. Back in a moment on the Wildcat Sports Network. to kick off. They've just taken a 31-6 lead over Guntersville here to begin. And their first possession, Larry, of the second half, the Wildcats go the distance.
Right, and Kenny Chadwick did check out of that play. They were going to run that run-pass option play, and Kenny saw those linebackers coming, checked out of it, and worked to perfection for Fort Payne.
Kenny kicks off, and this time Eddie's kicking deep. The guy will take it in about the 5, and it goes through his hands, and they'll have to bring it out. That was number 7, Josh Wiggs. He would have been taking it in about the 1, but it goes into the end zone, and Guntersville will have it at their own 20-yard line.
We spent an awful lot of time last week talking about what a poor job Fort Payne was doing on that kicking game. But we got to take our hats off to this team. They have really done an outstanding job tonight. They kicked the ball in the end zone a couple of times. They pinned the Guntersville back, kicked it out of bounds when they had to, and tip your hats to that kicking team of Fort Payne. Done a great job tonight.
Okay, King again to start the second half. The quarterback for Guntersville. Coming to the near side is number 11, Tully. He'll hand up the middle to his fullback, and he'll get about maybe 1 yard at the most on the play before the Wildcat defense comes in to knock him down.
Zane Hardinger in there. Also up from that secondary was Justin Garmany, who's played a good game tonight.
That was Wiggs on the carry, Larry.
9:04 to go. It's 31-6 Fort Payne, and I guess the Wildcats can start looking towards Johnson next week. We might remind the folks that game will be played in Milton Frank Stadium next week.
Always a pleasure to go to Milton Frank.
If you're playing baseball, it is. Not a very good stadium for football, but we'll be there next week.
I think that's Joe Davis, isn't it, Larry?
It is Joe Davis, yeah.
This time they'll give to Suggs. He'll break loose across the 40 to the 25-yard line and be knocked down there by David Crabtree.
Nathan Nail came up there also and chopped his legs out from under him. Good job by Gary Wright to force him wide, and then Nathan Nail came up and just nailed him, Roger.
Well, it took you a while to think of that one, didn't it, Larry?
I got a little help from these guys on the sideline down here.
So it'll be 3rd down and almost 5. Let's call it a long 4 if we can use that term. And Guntersville trying for the initial first down here in the second half as the quarterback once again comes up the center. That's King. Looks to the near side, trying to go over the middle, hits his man in motion at the 35, out to about the 39, goes number 24, Greg Altum. First down for Guntersville.
That's that little play that Fort Payne calls the T-pop, where they just faked the ball to the fullback and threw it over the middle to the tight end, and Jonathan Dreyer ran him down and made the tackle from behind, but that play's worked a couple of times for this team tonight.
You'd think that's the type play, Larry, they'll have to use more often if they're going to move the ball against Fort Payne. So it is a 1st and 10. The ball placed at the 39-yard line, 38-yard line. Guntersville's own 38. They'll hand to the tailback. This time he'll push up to about the 39, 40. Maybe as he squirts under some of the Wildcat defenders, and they're going to give him the 40.
Well, you can count the players that are out there and subtract the 2 safeties. Everybody else is in on that tackle for Fort Payne. A great job by the Wildcat defense. Will Stevens, one of the players there, but about 9 Wildcats are involved in that play.
So 2nd down and 8 for Guntersville. Still, ball inside their own or right at their own 40-yard line. Coming down on 7 minutes remaining here in the 3rd quarter. 31-6. Fort Payne leads. Wiggs throws back to his tailback. That's Wiggs. Wiggs cuts inside, crosses the 45, maybe to the 46, and he'll be a couple of yards short of the first down. It'll be 3rd and 2.
Jonathan Sugart came up from his secondary position, turned that play back in. Looked like he might have got held, but no call. But Jonathan Sugart on a great play, turned the ball back in, forced the ball back in. Several white shirts there to make the tackle. After a short gain, it'll be 3rd down, as you said, and about 2 yards to go.
D-Rod Crabtree made the tackle also. So it'll be 3rd and about 2, they're going to say. Didn't get quite as far as I thought. So 3rd and 2 for Guntersville. King under center. This time he hands his fullback. He breaks through into the 50 to Fort Payne territory to the 45, 44-yard line.
Jonathan Sugart had to make the tackle again, a shoestring tackle, but they broke that tackle off the far side. Ran behind Ballou that time, and Josh Ballou opened a hole on the right side of that Wildcat defense, and Guntersville picked up a first down.
That's probably their most successful play, Larry, going right up the middle against the Fort Payne defense.
Yeah, and Ballou's doing a good job out there. We criticized him a little earlier, but he's doing a good job part of the time.
So 1st and 10 for Guntersville to Fort Payne 45. Quarterback going back. He's been pressured. Hit, dumps it off to the tailback coming out of the backfield. He'll dance along the sideline inside the 40, down to about the 36-yard line, and he'll be 1 yard short of the first down.
Picked up 9 yards on the play. Ran that little swing pass again to the outside. Jonathan Sugart and Justin Garmy there were forced to force him out of bounds. It'll be second down and really less than a yard to go for the first down for Guntersville with 6:07 to go in the game. Third quarter.
Guntersville doing a pretty good job at play calling, and they have a second down and short, one just outside the 35 of Fort Payne. Quarterback under, he'll hand to the tailback. He'll run into a pile right at the line of scrimmage, but falls forward, and he'll have his first down to the 33-yard line.
Will Stevens under the bottom of that pile, who made the initial tackle, but Wiggs was able to dive forward, get his first down. They'll mark him at the 33-yard line. And Guntersville on the drive, but they still got a long way to go. Fort Payne leads at 31-6.
5:54 remaining here in the third quarter. 31-6 still Fort Payne in the league. Guntersville driving, and so far, Larry, this has probably been their longest drive of the night.
It's been the most consistent drive. They scored right before halftime on a couple of fluky plays. They're going to throw the ball here.
King rolls right, looking way downfield, throws across the middle, and overthrows his receiver at the 25. He was trying to go toward the right sideline, trying to hit number 24, Altum, and he overthrows him.
He was sandwiched over there between Jonathan Sugart and Jonathan Dreyer. So the two Jonathans got him in between him, wouldn't let him catch the ball. The ball was well overthrown to bring up second down and 10 for Guntersville. Fort Payne substituting as Nail and Rory Jones come out, and Anthony Thompson goes in. Think this is the first time he's played any defense tonight. Also, Heath Owen in that defensive end for the Wildcats.
10th play of this drive from Guntersville about to begin. King again will toss to the tailback. That's number 7, Wiggs. He'll cut inside down to the 30-yard line, where he's tackled there by number 65, Zane Hardinger.
But Heath Owen made that play as he was just the two people we had just talked about. As Heath Owen turned that play back in, Anthony Thompson was the one in under the bottom of the pile there. As he upended the ball carrier, he got a lot of help from Zane Hardinger, though. It'll bring up third down and about 7 for Fort Payne. For Guntersville, it is.
Yeah, so give him 3 yards on the play. As Guntersville comes to the line, still you have Wiggs in the backfield. The quarterback is still number 12, King. And he'll call his signals. 2 receivers to the right side. He rolls again toward his right, being pressured. He's hit as he lets it go. And almost caught inside the 20 there by number 3, Bush. But he just could not quite bring it in as he was being covered by David Crabtree.
Jonathan Dreyer was the one that forced that pass to be incomplete. As he was back on King and pushed King backwards, and King was falling backwards as he threw the ball. Threw it just over the outstretched hands of that receiver. As we mentioned, David Crabtree was there. That ball was almost complete. If he'd been able to get his feet down on the ground, probably would have been complete. But Jonathan Dreyer forced him to throw it before he wanted to, and it'll bring up 4th down.
So 4th and 7 for Guntersville, and you know they'll go for it. The ball right at the 30-yard line of Fort Payne. Twin receivers to the right side, to the near side, and we'll have a timeout here called by Guntersville. So with timeout on the field, you're listening to Fort Payne Wildcat football on the Wildcat Sports Network. Wildcats, the Guntersville Wildcats, called timeout facing a 4th and 7 at the Fort Payne Wildcat 30-yard line. Guntersville trailing the hometown Fort Payne Wildcats 31-6 with 4:53 remaining here in the third period. Larry, they're going for it?
Fort Payne expects Guntersville to throw the ball on this play. They say they're advising the defensive lineman to watch the tailback. If they think they're going to throw the ball, they think King is going to try to find one of his receivers. But look for the tailback, otherwise it's going to be to a pass.
So King takes the ball, fakes the fullback, running, throwing to a little flare out of the backfield to the tailback. He'll be chased down and knocked down.
Short of the first down.
Short of the first down, along around the 24. They're going to give him the 24, 25-yard line.
Well, they had it figured out. The coaches were saying it's either going to be a pass or they're going to run the tailback, and they both had it right. They threw the ball to the tailback, and he's going to be short of the first down. It'll be Fort Payne. Boy, why are they going to bring the chains in? It's going to be a good yard short. But they're going to bring the chains all the way across, and this thing is at least a yard and a half short, wouldn't you say so, Ben Charette?
You're exactly right.
But I guess when you're playing home, if you're playing a game team that's playing homecoming, go ahead and measure it, I guess, for all the old grads.
From here, it looks like a yard shy also, Larry.
Yard and a half short.
And let's see, I think it's a very obviously, and as they stretch it out, of course, it is shy.
Yes.
So the ball goes over on downs, and it'll be first down for Fort Payne.
Ben Charette has the eyes of an eagle. The Fort Payne defense has held Guntersville. They'll get the ball back. We'll check and see if they have any substitutes. And we see right off the bat that Tyler Cooper is going in there at the quarterback position for Fort Payne. All right, they may run Justin Tate. Yeah, I think Justin Tate is going to be your quarterback. Tyler Cooper is probably going to be one of the wideouts. So Aaron Shelley is in there, one of the lineman position.
Fort Payne takes over, Larry, what they're on 24 now. As Coach Elmore puts in the subs, and as you said, Justin Pate now the quarterback.
Mitchell's your fullback.
Mitchell and
McDaniel
McDaniel.
is the tailback.
Josh McDaniel, the tailback, as they come to play. Justin Pate calling out his signals, looking for his play. He takes the ball. He hands off to McDaniel. He gets out over the 25 to the 26-yard line and still on his feet, and I guess they'll say he was down at the 26.
Chris Mitchell, the fullback, in there trying to block for McDaniel. Picked up a yard or two on the play, down to 4:33 to go in the quarter. And Fort Payne with a big lead. And into the game for Fort Payne will come Jason Judson Bates. And he'll replace Alex Igo, who will go to the bench.
With a new quarterback in there, you expect them to be a little bit conservative here in the first few plays of this drive as quarterback Justin Pate comes to the line of scrimmage. Again, Mitchell is the fullback, the tailback McDaniel. In motion is number 6, that's Bates. Pate takes, hands to the fullback up the middle. He'll get up to around the 30 yards, goes Chris Mitchell up around the 30.
Blocking in there, Fort Payne had Aaron Shelley in there blocking, also Brenton Middlebrooks along that offensive front. And he was in there trying to throw a block. It'll bring up third down into the game for Fort Payne offensively. Will come Clay Dobbs. And limping out of the game will be Josh McDaniel. And he's okay, though.
Looks like Gary Mintz coming out of the game. Also, Tyler Cooper is split to the near side. Pate again is the quarterback. Mitchell again the fullback. Pate looking at a 3rd and 4. He'll hand to the tailback, and he'll escape. That's Clay Dobbs at tailback. He'll be hit at the 30, shy of the first down, and Fort Payne will be looking at a 4th and about 4.
Russ Freeman broke through a block there. 6 feet, 240 pounds. Hit Clay Dobbs in the backfield. It'll be 4th down. Fort Payne will have to kick it away. Lee Blanton was in along that offensive front for Fort Payne, as was Jeffrey Hendricks was also in there. Fort Payne will kick it away, and it'll be Kenny Chadwick in there to kick it away, and he'll kick it deep, and they have D. Bush back.
So after 4 plays or 3 plays, the Wildcats forced to punt. There's a good snap, good kick, no pressure. He lost a nice one. He's coming down to about inside the 40. He'll take a Fort Payne bounce and be down at the 34-yard line, where Guntersville will begin with 2:48 remaining here in the 3rd period of play.
Judson Bates down that ball. So a good kick there by Kenny Chadwick. They'll see a lot more reserves in here for Fort Payne. We'll try to pick up some of their numbers. We see that freshman in there. You have his name up there, number 66.
Oh, that's Maurice Parham, I do believe.
Yeah, he's in there defensively for Fort Payne. Lee Kennedy is also in there. Will Stevens is back in there again along that front. Middlebrooks is in there along with Gary Wright. A lot of new faces in there for Fort Payne, as Corey Hickson's on this near side of the cornerback.
King again held him to his tailback. That's Wiggs. Wiggs will push it over the 40 to about the 41. Give him 2 yards on the play.
A lot of white shirts there. Clay Dobbs, one of the first ones in there on the tackle. Will Stevens, I think, was also in there for Fort Payne along with Gary Wright.
2nd down and 8 now facing Guntersville as we're winding down here in the 3rd quarter. The 3rd quarter's moved pretty quick, Ronnie.
Yes, it has, Roger.
Thank you.
Actually, it's moved down to 2:19 already.
So,
Several seconds kicked off while y'all were talking.
quarterback rolls back, throws over the middle, hits his receiver at the 35, but he cannot hold on. Going for number 3, D. Bush, and he just could not hold the ball.
Justin Garmany, the defensive back on that far side, slipped down. And Bush, if he could have caught that ball, could have gained some yards. But Garmany got up in a hurry, and he dropped the ball.
Bush definitely would have had the 1st down. Instead, it's a 3rd down now and 8 for Guntersville. Fort Payne, as you said, Larry, with some new defensive guys in there also.
Yeah, Fort Payne, I think this is the kind of game they needed after that heartbreaking loss last week. Need a game where they can go out there, play a lot of players, and have a lot of fun, and they've done that tonight.
King takes, rolls straight back, tries to hit his end, number 11, and it's thrown short and incomplete. He was trying to go to number 11. That's Rinkin Tully, and he underthrew him.
Yeah, he did. He trapped the ball. Fort Payne had good pressure there from Justin Garmany. Don't think it would have been a 1st down even if they would have completed it, so they'll have to kick the ball away now. So on this near side, the Wildcat cheerleaders are doing a great job.
So once again, back to I guess that's King, back to punt the ball away. So 3 and out here for Guntersville in their possession. Wildcats should come back with good field position. Not much of a rush. Ball hangs up. Chadwick will take it inside his own 30, break down the left sideline, 35 to the 40. 45 crosses midfield. Well, they'll dump him right at midfield, maybe a yard shy. So a good return of 19 yards for Kenny Chadwick.
It's a great run there by Kenny Chadwick. Quincy Hampton came down and Kenny just ran right by him. Hampton didn't break down, and Kenny just ran right by him. So a great run back there by Kenny Chadwick. Fort Payne will have it great position right around midfield.
Actually around a 20-yard return as he fielded it his own 29 and returned it up to the 49. So once again, we have at quarterback is number 10. That's Justin Pate. 33, Mitchell, and Josh McDaniel is, let's see if Josh is the tailback.
No, Dobbs in there.
Dobbs. And they'll hand to the fullback, Chris Mitchell, and he'll get maybe a yard on the play, and that's all.
Fort Payne, as we mentioned, has a lot of youngsters in there playing now, so then they're not going to do anything fancy. Going to run the ball right at Guntersville. So I wouldn't expect anything spectacular to come out of this drive, with Fort Payne leading comfortably 31-6.
Coming out of the game now is number 11, Tyler Cooper. And you said it's pretty much in at tailback now, Clay Dobbs all the way. Once again, same setback. To the far side is number 16. That's Randy Turner. The pitch back this time to Dobbs again. He'll get inside the 50, make a cut back left, inside the 45, knocked down at the 44-yard line. A good run by Clay Dobbs.
An outstanding run by Clay Dobbs. He came to this near side. Nothing there. He cut it back across, and Lee Blanton threw a block. And on the sideline here, the guys are having a great time harassing me. Did you have to go through all this last week?
No, yes, definitely, Larry.
We'll talk to you in just a minute. We'll talk to Darrell Prater after this play.
We'll see. It's a 3rd and 4 for Fort Payne. Let's see if they can retain possession. Pate again under center. He'll hand to the fullback, Mitchell. He's up the middle, and he will be shy, I believe, of the first down. It's almost right on it. We may have to measure this, but where the official has his foot, it looks like he is shy. Maybe a football length.
Roger, have Darrell Prater here. Darrell, first of all, how'd you hurt the knee? Last week against Hazel Green?
Yes, sir. I was in a foul, and I got my knee all twisted up. And I came out for about 2 plays, and it's been hurt since.
So you are going to be able to play next week, right? Especially after the way Anthony has run the ball tonight.
He's trying to take my position.
4th and 1, Larry.
4th and 1. They're going to go for it.
And they're going for it. He'll hand to Mitchell again. He'll break inside the 40 to the 35-yard line. First down, Fort Payne, but there is a flag on the play.
Check the flag. Darrell, let's talk about it a little bit more here. Football scholarship. You had some offers from some folks already, I guess.
I got one from UTC, a full scholarship. That's the only one I got, but there's been a lot of people that call and ask if I'd like to come to their school. I told them, yeah, it'd be a good chance to.
You need about 240 yards close to it in the next couple of games to be the all-time leading rusher in a single season. So think you'll be able to get that the next couple of games?
Yes, sir. If I run hard and line blocks and everything, I believe we can do it.
I'll go over here and talk to some of these big offensive linemen, though. Need to get that 240 yards.
Larry, that was a penalty against Fort Payne. Moves it all the way back to their own 47-yard line. As time expires here in the 3rd quarter, it'll be 4th and long. Fort Payne will have to punt, but we'll be back in just a moment. Fort Payne 31, Guntersville 6. This is the Fort Payne Wildcats Sports Network. Well, Larry, Fort Payne going to have to punt the ball away after a penalty. The Fort Payne had the first down on a Chris Mitchell run. They were called for a major penalty. Now will probably kick the ball away as Kenny Chadwick goes back outside his own 30.
I don't think the coaches are too disappointed in that, though. Fort Payne, granted, they got their first down, but called for the high snap, though, but he's going to get it away.
So the kick is away, coming to number 3. That's Bush at his own 5. Gains control of the ball there. He's at the 10, knocked down at the 10 by a host of Wildcat tacklers, led by number 49, Lee Kennedy.
Also, Chris Mitchell in there on the tackle, as Fort Payne did a good job. That ball was almost fumbled inside the 10-yard line, but Chris Mitchell and Lee Blanton, as you said, made the tackle there. Good job by the Wildcats.
So probably about the worst field position to start tonight for Guntersville. They're going to finally leave it on about the 8-yard line. So Guntersville have to go 92 yards for pay dirt as we begin the 4th period with Fort Payne up 31-6. Again, Bush is still, or Wiggins still is your tailback. The quarterback is still number 12. That's King. Slot to the near side is number 3, D. Bush. King takes, hands to the fullback, fakes to the fullback, hands to the tailback. He'll get up to the 10, pick up 2 yards, and that's all.
Zane Hardinger on the tackle. As Hardinger came up there and met him right in the line and knocked him back, it'll be about the 10-yard line where they're going to mark this down. Picked up about 4 yards on the play, but Zane Hardinger makes the big hit. A lot of reserves in the game for Fort Payne as we see Judson Bates in that defensive secondary. Lee Kennedy's there. He's played not a lot tonight. Also on that far side, Corey Hickson. And David Crabtree also in there, the sophomore. He started tonight in the defensive secondary.
2nd down and 8. King throws to his tailback again. Once again, that's Wicks. He goes to the left side. He'll get up to near the 15-yard line.
Middlebrooks on the tackle. As Brent Middlebrooks ran him down and just chased him down on that far side, made the tackle. With about 11 minutes to go in the game. Fort Payne ahead 31-6, and a good game for Fort Payne.
Still 2 yards shy of the first down, so it'll be 3rd and 2 for Guntersville. Guntersville sends I believe that is number 3, back into the game. That's D. Bush. And a big play here for Guntersville as they're trying to maintain possession deep in their own territory. The ball at their own 15-yard line, facing a 3rd and 2. Again, King, the quarterback. He fakes left, hands to his tailback again. He escapes a tackler to 25, across the 20. That was at the 15, then across the 20 to 25, and out to the 30 and the 35-yard line. So a good run for the first down.
A couple of tackles there. Clay Dobbs had to run him down, but they had a chance to make the play behind the line of scrimmage. Defensive coach is not too pleased with that play, as they had a chance to make it and just missed the tackle there. Clay Dobbs, Indian linebacker, had to run him down up around the 35.
That was kind of good running by Josh Wiggs. He kind of hesitated and waited on his blockers that time, so it was a fine job by Wiggs, picking up the first down for Guntersville at their own 35-yard line.
Wiggs probably over 100 yards for the night.
124 yards.
Again, King takes, he's rolling left, trying to find a receiver downfield. He throws to the left side. Hit his number 33 at the 45-yard line. That was number 33, Philip Havis, but he could not hold on.
Pretty good pass. That ball probably should have been called. Cy Giles in there. He applied the pressure to the quarterback, but a well-thrown pass that probably should have been passed. Receiver just jumped for it, came down after the ball had already crossed his hand, so it'll bring up 2nd down and 10 for Guntersville.
Cybo forced him to throw that a little bit, I think, before he wanted to. So it's now 2nd down and 10 still at the 35 as King is over center. Again, he'll take, throws back again to into the game is number 4. That's Howard Hampton, and there'll be a flag on the play as Hampton crosses the 40-yard line.
I think that's going to be against Guntersville. Brent Middlebrooks is chasing him down. A Guntersville player riding his back. Looked like he was hanging on to him. I think that's going to be a hold against Guntersville.
Still looking for the officials to give us the signal of what it is. And
illegal block against Guntersville.
Illegal block against Guntersville, so that'll back them up.
Actually, that's even better. Illegal block, the 15-yard penalty. Holding is a 10-yard penalty. So Fort Payne, that's the best end of that deal.
So that, let's see, I guess it's from his point of the infraction, so that'll carry it back to about the 26-yard line. Let's see if my addition is right here. Officials moving it backward. And they're going to put it down at the, around the 20, well, he can't decide, can he? They're going to put it on the 29-yard line.
Talking to Josh McDaniel down here on the sidelines. He came out of the game earlier after making a good run, limping on sprained ankle. He don't think it's serious, and they don't have it wrapped, so he thinks he's going to be okay. May get back in the game in a minute.
So looking at 2nd down now, and they have on the board 16, but it's about 22. We'll call it 2nd and 21. Let's settle on 21. 2nd and 21 for Guntersville. As King is under center, this time he'll fake to the tailback, rolling left, wants to throw downfield, has a receiver wide open across the middle, and it's caught there by number 3, Bush. He's out to the 40, the 42-yard line goes Dave Bush. Good job by Guntersville to complete that pass against the Wildcat defense. Brian Jones applied the pressure to the quarterback. Got there just a second too late. If he'd got there maybe a half a second earlier, he'd have been able to deck the quarterback for a big loss, but it'll be still 3rd down and about 3 for Guntersville. King had this over the middle, wide open at the Fort Payne 45 for an easy touchdown if he would have taken that option, Larry. 9:16 to go in the game. Clock is still moving. King again under center, looking at a 3rd and almost 3, being pressured. He's hit as it lets it go and batted down by Dobbs. Number 17, Dobbs knocks the ball down at the Fort Payne 45 and stops this drive. Cy Jones applying the pressure again as Cy came from that left side and hit the quarterback just as he threw the ball. Good job there by Cy Giles as he punished Mr. King on that play. So looking at a 4th and about 3, I'm certain Guntersville will go for this. Is Cy really big enough to punish anybody? Probably so. He's a mean little booger. So again, King under center, needing 3 yards to keep the live going. He throws to his tailback. He's across the 40, across the 45, has his first down inside Wildcat territory at the 47-yard line.
Fort Payne's Clay Dobbs trying to run the play down. He kind of misjudged the angle. I don't think he realized the speed of that running back for Guntersville, but he had the angle, he fought, and the running back Wiggs just ran right by him. But a good job by Clay Dobbs. He just took the wrong angle, but was in there trying to make the tackle.
They've run that little toss sweep right a couple of times for good yardage, Larry, and maybe we'll see that one again. Maybe the Fort Payne people will be expecting a little more next time. But it is a first down at the Fort Payne 46-yard line, 8:58 remaining in the game.
Lee Rose on the defensive line for Fort Payne.
King takes, he's rolling back. He's looking downfield, throwing across the middle, and this time has it tipped and intercepted by number 3, David Crabtree. David's at the Fort Payne 40. Out to the 44-yard line goes David Crabtree.
Roger, they're going to have to double team Cy Giles. He was in there on the quarterback again. He threw the ball bounced off of Guntersville receiver's hands, was off Hardinger's helmet, and right into the hands of David Crabtree, who intercepted. But Cy Giles is the one who applied the pressure to the quarterback and forced him to throw the ball early. Crabtree
leads this Wildcat team, Larry, in turnovers. I know that's at least his 5th and maybe his 6th turnover and fumble recovery.
Cy Giles down here says nothing to this game.
So 42-yard line, Fort Payne takes over. Number 10, that's Justin Bates under center. He'll hand up the middle to the fullback, and he'll push his way to the 45.
Flag down.
And there's a flag on the play.
David Crabtree with another pass interception, and you're right, he does lead this team in turnovers. Great job. Just a sophomore.
And I believe it's maybe a holding on Fort Payne.
Probably. When they throw it into the pile like that, you think it's probably going to be a hold.
So they'll step it off against Fort Payne. The official goes back to the 34-yard line. Indeed, it was holding against the Fort Payne Wildcats. So it'll be first and about 20 from the 34-yard line. As we're winding down to 8 minutes remaining here in the game, Fort Payne still leads 31-6. And Fort Payne thus far, Larry, playing a very good game.
Josh McDaniel back in at tailback.
Josh McDaniel back in fake, turns left, hands to McDaniel. He'll cut inside, go across the 35-yard line, and he'll pick up, give him a yard on the play.
Good job by Josh McDaniel as Fort Payne has Sparky Sparks in there. He was trying to throw a block on that right side and did a good job. But Fort Payne will be, what, second down and about 13?
Yeah, second and really about 17 to go, Larry. You know, Larry, since they put in Payne and all these second teamers, they really haven't tried anything fancy, but they're hoping this time to move the ball down the field and score like they did in that last home game Fort Payne had.
Yeah, Chris Mitchell in the fullback now.
So Mitchell is the fullback, McDaniels. We have a whistle blown here. Let's see, the officials have called timeout, and let's see what this is all about.
Flag down. Somebody was in the neutral zone. It must have been the guys in the white.
Yeah, they're going to back Fort Payne up 5 more yards. So that'll put the ball just outside the Fort Payne 31-yard line. Well, right after 31, just outside the 30. And pushes it back to second and about 22 now for Fort Payne. And once again, still at quarterback, Justin Pate. Mitchell is the fullback. McDaniel is the tailback. Pate goes, hands, fakes to Mitchell, fakes to McDaniel. He'll roll on the bootleg near side, crosses the 35, crosses the 40, the 45, dives out over the 50, into Guntersville territory at the Guntersville 48-yard line.
Outstanding run there, and a great screening block out here by Tyler Cooper. Cooper never got the defensive back on the ground, but he screened him out of the way and allowed Justin Pate to go for the first down. Outstanding run.
About a yard shy, I believe, of the first down goes Justin Pate. Well, big pickup on that one running.
Just short of the first down. 22 yards. That's Pate's first carry of the night.
So second down and 1 after the Pate run. He's again under center. This time he will throw to McDaniel. Daniel will go to the 50. Cut inside the 50. Loses the ball. It's on the ground being chased to the far sideline. And let's see, I believe the ball went out of bounds.
Went out of bounds. Yeah, went out of bounds. And Judson Bates was able to dive on it, but I think it already gone out of bounds. And it'll be a break for Fort Payne with 7:05 to go in the game.
And it manages to pick up enough yardage to the 46-yard line, so it's a first down for Fort Payne. So the ball at the 46-yard line. Fort Payne hurrying to the line of scrimmage as we're coming down on 7 minutes here remaining in the game. Justin Pate again with Mitchell and McDaniel in the backfield. Pate takes the ball, looks around, hands to Mitchell, and that's Dobbs again instead of Mitchell, this time at fullback, and he'll lose a yard on the play.
Clay Gorham trying to block out there in front of him, but he got most of that on his own. He got most of that loss on his own. Folks on the sideline having a great time over here. It's a lot more fun when you're winning, I guess, on this sideline, Raj.
Certainly, it's a lot more fun up here, too, Larry, when we're winning. And I know it is there on the sideline with you, too.
Yes, it certainly is.
So, once again, second down and now 11 after the loss on the play, a 1-yard loss. And again, it is Pate under center. He'll turn, he'll hand to McDaniel, come to the right side. He cuts inside and hit hard at the 49, and he loses another yard. So the Wildcats at this point going backwards.
Well, they got a lot of youngsters in there, an entire new offensive line in there. So you really can't expect a whole lot. Guntersville got most of their starters still in there. So you really can't expect a whole lot out of this Fort Payne team.
They'll say that he actually lost 2 yards on the play, so it'll bring up a 3rd and 13, approaching 6 minutes remaining here in the game. So a big 3rd and 13 possession down for Fort Payne. At midfield, Justin Pate again under center. He fakes to the fullback. He keeps to the left, looks for a pitch, keeps inside the 40, and down to near the 35-yard line, but there's a flag on the play around the 45-yard line.
Probably another hold, but as he had run close to the first down, the flag is laying all the way back around midfield. I think it's going to be a penalty against Fort Payne. Yep, Fort Payne's already starting to back up. But another good run there by Justin Pate.
So they will back Fort Payne up once again. This time the ball will go down at the Fort Payne 43-yard line, and it'll be a 3rd, and we'll call it 21 for Fort Payne.
Roger, the importance of this win is that Fort Payne now has run their record to 4 wins and 4 losses. Have a chance, if they can win the next couple of games, to have a winning season, and that's very important for these players. So they have to win at Johnson next week and then at home against Pinson Valley. Not an easy task, but the Wildcats think they can do it.
Pate again on the snap. He looks for his tailback. McDaniel on the toss. Gets it to him. He'll get to the 45 and be knocked down there after a pickup of 2 yards on the play.
Fort Payne's going to kick it away as they send their kicking team in. And going to play defense for a while.
So Fort Payne, if they could win their next 2, Larry, would end with a 6-4 record. Only 1 loss, below what we did last year.
Yeah, I think that would be a good season if Fort Payne, considering what's happened, and they're still having a hard time getting over that loss to Hazel Green. Talking to Coach Elmore for the game, and he said the more he looked at that film of the Hazel Green, the sicker he got, because he said it's just obvious from looking at that film that Fort Payne was a much better team as the punt goes all the way down to the 10-yard line and rolls dead. But he said that Fort Payne a much better team than Hazel Green, and just kind of makes you sick at your stomach when you look at that film and see that we should have won that football game last week.
I wonder if it made him as sick as his stomach as that play against North Jackson last year.
I didn't ask him that, but I would think that they probably fall somewhere within the same category.
So Guntersville again with an opportunity at 4:41 here remaining in the game. They'll have the ball at their own 14-yard line. Again, the score is Fort Payne 31, Guntersville 6. And they'll take over, as I said, at their own 14.
Lee Rose and Aaron Shelley in along that defensive front for Fort Payne.
Dandridge back in at the quarterback for Guntersville. He'll throw to his tailback. That's Hampton. He cuts to the left side, and he'll fight his way out to the 20-yard line for a 6-yard gain on the play.
Clay Dobbs on the tackle. Also there was Corey Hickson, as well as Gary Wright.
First time we've seen Dandridge since the first series of the game, so it may very well be that he plays the first series and the last series of the night for Guntersville. So it'll be 2nd down and 5 for Guntersville.
Coaching staff still coaching over here on the sideline. 4:09 to go.
Whit Reed to the near side. Again, the quarterback is Dandridge. Dandridge takes. He'll hand to the tailback. He'll be hit immediately, and he'll manage to fall forward up to the 23-yard line.
Lee Rose, also Clay Dobbs. We've called his name an awful lot tonight. And Clay has played an outstanding game. A 5'8", 140-pound, 47-pound sophomore. So we're going to see an awful lot of Clay Dobbs next year, but he's had an outstanding game tonight.
3-yard gain on the play brings up a 3rd and just over 1 for a Guntersville first down.
$1 a slide.
A lot of new players into the game also for Guntersville. To this side is number 18, Wade Austin. Quarterback takes, he looks, he throws to his tailback. He's trying to get across the 25, makes it across the 25, has his first down, and, well, he'll barely have it as he's pushed back.
Gary
he has
Wright,
his first down at the 25.
Gary Wright hanging on to his ankle there and made the tackle. You can tell this running back is not the starter. He went in there, he was real tentative as he hit that line. And Gary Wright grabbed him around the ankle. Looked like he was looking for somebody to hit him so he could go down, was that defense, that running back.
Well, I'm sure Gary Wright accommodated him.
Yeah, he got his first down, though.
He's lucky it wasn't Jonathan.
Right.
So 1st and 10. The ball at the 26-yard line at Guntersville. Coming down on 3 minutes to go. Quarterback takes a little mix-up on handoff, but the fullback breaks loose across the 35 out to the 39-yard line.
Big run there. A big hit also by Fort Payne as Lee Kennedy and Clay Dobbs again came up to make the tackle up around the 40-yard line, but he picked up his first down.
That's 14 yards on the play, Larry, and a first down for Guntersville.
2:54 to go in the game. Fort Payne with a big 31-6 lead.
So 1st and 10, the ball at the 39-yard line. His time's running out in this game. An apparent Fort Payne victory, 31-6. Again, he'll hand to his tailback, going to the left side. That's Hampton. He'll get to the sideline and run across the 45 to about the 46-yard line. He'll pick up, let's give him 7 yards on that play.
Corey Hickson there to make the tackle along with Lee Kennedy. But that's Hampton and Hampton in the backfield. Don't know if they're related. Howard Hampton is a sophomore, 6'2", 147, and the other one is Quincy Hampton. He's a 5'11", 160. He's a senior.
Another mix-up in the handoff, and the ball's on the ground, and Fort Payne will recover it at the 44. Let's see who got that ball. It's number 11.
Number 11. That is Tyler Cooper. And he just went in there and took it away from that Guntersville player. Looked like Tyler wanted the ball more than the defensive player did, and Tyler went in there and grabbed it away. 2:31 to go. This one, I would think, is in the bag.
Yeah, Larry, those two guys for Guntersville, the quarterback and the running back, kind of fought off of the ball and finally put it on the ground, and Tyler jumped in and covered it. And Fort Payne has another opportunity at the Guntersville 44 with 2.5 minutes to go in the game.
They bumped together on the exchange from the quarterback to the fullback. Did that twice in a row, and then the fullback just fumbled the ball. Hampton did. There's a Fort Payne fumble.
The ball's in the ground there, and I think Guntersville has got the ball. The quarterback for Fort Payne was Payne. He's down on the ground trying to get it back, but he can't do it, and it is Guntersville ball. So Wildcats fumble on their first play after recovering a fumble.
Justin Pate, I'm trying to say, and Chris Mitchell on the exchange bobble there. Guntersville gets it back with 2:25 to go. Big crowd on hand from Fort Payne. We haven't mentioned that tonight, but a big crowd on hand here from Fort Payne tonight. And the band's still making a lot of noise.
So Guntersville will start on their own 44-yard line, trailing 31-6. So the bands have struck up the final songs for the night as they hand it to the tailback. He'll get across the 45 to the 46, and about 7 Wildcat defenders driving backwards from there.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Wildcats, but the first Wildcat to hit him again was number 17, Clay Dobbs.
Clay doing a good job both tonight on offense and defense.
Less than 2 minutes to go when they snapped the ball. Clay's in there calling defensive signals for Fort Payne now. They have Aaron Shelley along that defensive front, and Jeffrey Hendricks is also in there. Fort Payne runs the player in as Judson Bates comes off holding his hip.
Crabtree goes in. They'll fake to the fullback. Quarterback move, wants to throw, being pressured. Dishes out to the right side to the tailback, and he'll cross midfield and into the Fort Payne 44-yard line. So a first down for Guntersville.
And guess who ran him down? Number 17, Clay Dobbs. Go over and check on Judson Bates. I think he's okay. He came out kind of dragging one of his legs. We'll check on Judson and see how he's doing.
So Guntersville trying to put a few more points on the board here before the end of the game as they trail 31-6. 1:42 here remaining in the game. And Guntersville with Dandridge back in at quarterback. He'll look over center, call the signals, throw back to the tailback once again around the left side, inside the 45 to the 40 to the 39-yard line goes Howard Hampton.
David Crabtree and Clay Dobbs again. Judson Bates is okay. He just got banged up a little. He'll be all right.
Boy, David has that knack for getting turnovers, don't he, Larry? He is really good at getting those turnovers. So it brings up a 2nd and 6 after the 4-yard gain by Hampton. As we're down on 109 remaining in the game. Quarterback again is under center. He'll fake to the tailback on the keeper, Rose left, and it's read perfectly by number 24. Cybo Giles drives him to the ground.
Great job by Cy Giles, 5'9", 143-pound sophomore, and he is a real terror out there.
And there was a fumble on the play, Larry, and Fort Payne's recovered it.
Good job. Old Cy takes after his mother, I guess, doesn't he?
Well, the fumble on the play, I didn't see who recovered. Ronnie, did you see who recovered the ball?
I didn't see, but when Cy slung the runner down, the quarterback there, number 8, let go of the ball. Didn't see who recovered, but it's Fort Payne football.
Cybo just toying with him, caused him to lose the ball, so Dandridge with a turnover. Fort Payne again with the ball at their own 45-yard line. This time Crabtree is the quarterback.
Josh McDaniel recovered that fumble. Josh McDaniel has the football.
So Josh McDaniel will pick up 2 yards out to the 47-yard line. And Crabtree now the quarterback. So David doing a little bit of everything tonight, and they send back number 33, Chris Mitchell in. And we're down below 1 minute to go in the game, 37 seconds remaining here in the game as David Crabtree leads them back to the line of scrimmage. Fullback is Mitchell. Tailback is Josh McDaniel. Ball at the 47. Crabtree will hand to Mitchell. He'll pick up maybe 2 tough yards to the 49-yard line.
Should be the last play of the game. We're down to 13 seconds. I don't think Guntersville was going to call a timeout. Fort Payne's already headed to midfield to celebrate. The Wildcats will wrap this one up with a 31-6 win. And we'll leave here happy campers. So Fort Payne knocks off Guntersville by a score of 31-6, run their record to 4-4 for the year, Roger. Big game, big win. Expected to win this game, and the Wildcats did win it.
Well, what a difference a week makes. Last week at this time, everybody feeling down. This time, a good win over a foe that we'd faced many times before, Guntersville. We'll take a little break here, and we'll be back in a moment to talk just a few more minutes about the game. But the final score from Chorba-Lee Stadium in Guntersville is the Fort Payne Wildcats choose up the Guntersville Wildcats 31-6.